What up, all my friends out there in YouTube? It's January 16th, 2012, a day that we've set aside in this country to be called Martin Luther King Jr. Day. He's somebody that I admire. He's somebody who, from what I've studied and know from him, he would be a Christian martyr. He's someone who stood for justice, peace, and he's someone that I admire. But that's not who I'm going to talk about on this video. Actually, I do need to do a few videos talking about Martin Luther King Jr. But just thinking about him and his life being taken at an early age has made me. I come across something in the Bible, something I read not too long ago that I'm wanting to just bring across to everybody else. It's made me think of longevity. Thinking of Martin Luther King Jr., standing up for what was right, and his longevity was stripped and taken from him. And because he stood for what's right. And that's happened to a lot of people who stood up for Christ, who stood up for the movement, who stood up for, just everything that we have inherited from the cross. But what I'm thinking is on Moses. And talking about longevity. Moses. It says in the last chapter of Deuteronomy chapter 34, and in verse 7, that Moses was 120 years old when he died, and his eyesight was not diminished, and he was strong. The New King James Version says that Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his natural vigor diminished. So at 120, he still looked young. At 120, he still looked good. Check out some of these other translations on this verse. It says Moses was, in the New International Version, Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak, nor his strength young. Now, you don't meet too many people over 70 whose eyes aren't weak. A lot of people ask, well, what's the average lifespan of today? And you'll usually get 60, 70, maybe 80. 75 they say is an average, but it's going down. It's going down depending on where you're looking. And I think it's really going down quicker than most people are really thinking it is, because there's a lot of evil things happening in our food industries and health systems and all different kinds of things, and I hope people are starting to realize these things. Now Moses, you got to think, at 120s when he died, but he started leading Israel out of Egypt, from what I know, when he was 80. So for 40 years he's wandering around. I mean 80-year-old, 90-year-old, 110, 120-year-olds, walking up mountains and leading a life like that. So we should really study what Moses was doing and the things that it says he did. Not necessarily that we need to do what he did. Jesus has made it clear what we need to do. And Jesus made a lot of references to Moses. If you knew him, you'd know him. If you knew Moses, you know Jesus. A lot of people in the church today don't know Moses. Not to say that we have to know Moses, but we should study him to more understand Jesus and what he did and what he ate, and on all the different things. I like what the New Living Translation, I like how it translates that verse. It says Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyesight was clear, and he was as strong as ever. 120 and being strong as ever? I mean, that's longevity. And in 2012, it seems like all anybody's talking about is wanting to eat healthy and lose weight and do all these different things, get on this certain diet plan, and we need to quit thinking of it like that, as a diet plan or stuff like that. We need to just change our lifestyles. We need to be willing to change our lifestyles. We need to look to the scriptures And if it says don't do something here, let's not argue it. Let's just put it to action, quit doing it, and see what happens. Because I bet when I know everything I've quit doing and tried to clean up in my life, every time I did it, He's blessed me because of it. And some things haven't been easy, but He just wants you to take that step of faith, and if you'll take it, He will provide. He will provide. Even though when you take that step of faith, before you take it, you're afraid. You're afraid, oh, I'm going to take that step and it's going to start storming and I'm going to be stuck out in the rain and I ain't going to have no shelter and it ain't going to work out, and if I make this move, my whole world will crash. But if there's something really in our heart and it goes with the will of God, and it is a big step of faith you have to take. If you will take it, God will. He will. He'll provide that way. And He'll be right there with you. Because if He's the one wanting you to do it, He's going to make it happen. And that's clear all the way through the Scriptures, over and over and over. If He's the one behind it, it will happen. And He's behind all things, you know, for those who love the Lord. He's going to provide. He'll provide the escape. He'll provide the way. It's just us that's got to provide the open heart to be willing to go down that straight and narrow. He wants us to go down. He earnestly wants us to go down. It's not easy. But nothing good is easy. Nothing good is easy. Nothing good is easy, and the quicker we realize that, if people would realize that, it would make it such a better world. We're here to work, we're here to serve, and some people think we got it easy now, and church members, Jesus come here to serve. That's what we're to do. We're to serve. We're to serve our brothers and sisters, and if we do that, Moses was serving. He was pleading with the Lord, don't destroy them people, you know. If we've took them this far, don't destroy them. They'll curse you then, don't destroy them. And Moses was serving. He was pleading. He was doing things for the Lord to get the movement. The beginning of the movement. It was the original movement to establish Israel. I just wanted to share about Moses. He died at 120 looking good and having good eyesight. That's just, to me, that's a fact that's awesome. I hope I can die at 120 with wonderful eyesight and a natural vigor to my skin and stuff still. But I don't really look that far ahead. I'm going to live for today. I'm going to do what I can today, and if the Lord wills, He will allow me to live that long. But for now, there's work to do now. That's looking ahead in my life, in over 90 years or something. That's ridiculous. So if we do want to get healthy, we want longevity, let's first look at the Scriptures. Let's dig. Let's clean up our lives. Let's look in the mirror. Let's wash our face off a little bit. Let's clean it up, and who knows what will happen. It says to those who follow the will of God, He says something like He'll leave who knows what kind of a blessing He'll leave behind. Those who are giving and those who are out doing. And one way you can give for yourself is just follow the Word. Follow it. Let it grow in you, and just let it take you over. And don't look back. Don't look back. And it's all gravy. It's not supposed to be really hard for us. It's only us that make it hard. Just wanted to share this little message. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I hope everybody, since it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, when you see him on TV or on the papers or internet, just understand that was a bold person right there, and he stood and was a leader. And we need more people like that, people who will stand out in the crowd, people who won't necessarily go along with every law or whatever they're going to throw on us. We need people standing up, but we need people standing up and doing it in a way that promotes God and promotes, you know, the kingdom. And it's just the way I look at it. We don't need people up standing up and supporting people who don't promote God and the kingdom. It's plain and simple. We just don't need that. Peace and love to everybody. Appreciate any comments. Like I said, ideas, messages. I love it all. Trust me. I love just talking to people and sharing ideas and, you know, sharing little things from the scripture. That's what I love doing. And I'm going to keep doing that as long as I can live. As long as the Lord gives me another day, I'm going to keep doing that. And try to inspire people in the meantime to the most of my ability. That's what I'm going to do. Until next time, peace.